the whole thing started for you, I guess, when you found out your wife was cheating on you.
Yeah. So, there was early in our relationship and our marriage. I was traveling a lot. I was a consultant. I was on the road. Um, and the work took me away from the house, and she kind of settled into this routine with me not around, initially for the first years of marriage. Now, we were married for almost 10 years. And one of the things that we always talked about together was, come off the road. Bob's going to come off the road, and Bob's going to be there with the family. And that was her goal. That was my goal, and we were both on the same page. Well, I don't know if she thought it was never going to happen, but I had an opportunity that brought me off the road and kept me, home, with her and the kids 100%.
Mm.
And it was during that time where, I saw, behavioral things, the telltale signs, if you will, what I call distracted relationship, social media on Facebook all the time, always on a cell phone, and then a couple red flags that started coming up was, she felt like she had this need for ladies' night. She needed a time away from the kids to escape. Now, I didn't
That
need
was a girls' night out.
Yeah, a girls' night out. That was something that she had mandated weekly, and there was no boys' night out for me personally. I mean, I had just come off the road. All my gratification was being at home with my kids. I didn't need to hang out with the boys and have a couple beers.
She ever say anything like, "Hey, do you want to take a boys' night out? Like once a week too?" Or
yeah, she did occasionally. But once it was such a funny flip flop, because once she did allow me to do that, then all of a sudden the text messages, the phone calls just being blown up. I didn't get any peace of mind to be out with my quote unquote boys.
Mhm.
It was just her pestering me the whole time. And of course, the rules had always flipped on her side of the table, because I couldn't pester her. When she was out with the girls,
right.
Lord forbid I ask her where she's at and where she's going, what she's doing.
Mhm.
So there was red flags initially, and then I started taking some steps. They had a tracking. You could download it. We were all on the same family plan on the cell phone, so you could download this family app that allowed you to keep tabs on your significant others.
Yeah.
And I went ahead and I downloaded that stuff, just from a safety precautionary standpoint, took that approach to it. She really didn't buy into it because she had things to hide. So she was really against the tracking app for, whatever reasons. And that was another red flag to me personally, was, okay, well, she doesn't want to tell me what she's doing on girls' night out. And then at the same time, I don't have visibility. She won't allow the tracking app. So it was just, the red flags just kept mounting.
Mhm.
And then I finally decided, well, it's time, maybe I take a peek at her phone. So I found an opportunity when she wasn't around. And I got on her phone, and I found some messages that were, blew me away.
What did you see? I mean, like, without giving away too much, but like, what did you see?
Well, the first message that I streamed, it was sexting messages. It was her was they're exchanging of pictures, and of course, I see pictures of another guy on my wife's phone. It was just whoa. And the tough part about all this was, I had a feeling, and then I thought to myself, divorces are forever. Once it gets passed through the machine, as you call it, at that point in time, there's no turning back. And I had friends of mine who had some miserable divorces, and I knew that it's probably a good thing sooner rather than later, just because of the ramifications and repercussions long term. Just talk to a lawyer. So I started just making some phone calls, just kind of seeing how the divorce process work, how these things go.
Did you say anything to her about what you discovered on her phone, or you just like hush hush kept it quiet?
I kept it quiet. I figured at that point in time, let's see how this evolves, and let's just play stupid for right now until I could talk to some legal experts and get some advice. So
what was that like for you at the time, though? Like when you picked up your phone and you saw the the exchange of messages and the emojis and the eggplants and the pictures and all that, like how did that sit with you?
Oh, it was rough. I found an excuse to get out of the house, immediately.
Yeah.
Hey, I got to go run this errand. She was kind of, it's not my type of personality to just drop something and leave. I'm a planner, so I always give, ample heads up. So she was a little bit, okay, are you all right? And I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. And
Mm.
I just had to get away from it, emotionally clear my head. And, I
Collect
called
yourself.
I called a good friend of mine at that time, and it's, hey, this is what's going on. And he had gone through a rough divorce, and his immediate recommendation was, dude, go see a lawyer, go
Right.
talk to a lawyer right away.